celebrations of the year. That's right, it's Saturalia in Skyrim once again. This is the time of year when the citizens of Tamriel celebrate together, gift gifts to one another, decorate evergreen trees with all manner of beautiful ornaments, and it's just all around cheerful and delightful. And we're going to go for our traditional annual Saturalia wander together here in Skyrim tonight. Our wander tonight begins in Morthal, of all places. Yes, that sleepy little swamp town on the north coast of Skyrim is actually remarkably festive at this time of year. The citizens of Morthal really capture the Saturalia spirit, and we're going to be taking a look at that here tonight as the sky darkens. The last little light of the sun is just fading from the horizon, and the northern lights are beginning their dance across the hazy sky. Gosh, they're beautiful. They just add to the decorative beauty of this time of year. Morthal actually has a couple of interesting local traditions that we don't see elsewhere in Skyrim, which are worth checking out, and we'll see them here tonight. The stars are sparkling tonight. Oh my goodness, Masser is so bright and so huge in the sky. Brilliant and glowing, casting its light down and illuminating everything with a pale, cool glow. I had thought maybe it would be, oh, did you see that? Did you see that shooting star just up there in the sky? Surely that must be a good omen. Oh, and there's Secunda as well. Oh, and another shooting star. Well, this is the month of Evening Star, the last month of the year in Tamriel. So it seems appropriate that we would get shooting stars lighting up the sky. I was hoping that we might get a little bit of snow here in Morthal tonight. Yet, it's quite clear, but I'm not upset by that. Now that I'm appreciating the splendor of the cosmos tonight, and another beautiful shooting star. So one of the Saturalia traditions that's unique to Morthal is this right here. This is a wreath made of evergreen boughs and death bell. Yes, death bell, that brilliant plant that's found growing throughout the swamps around Morthal, lighting up the night with its lovely glow. The residents of Morthal have taken to collecting it and using it to adorn their Saturalia wreaths, and I can see why. It's absolutely beautiful and regionally unique. Something we don't see elsewhere in Skyrim. Virtually every building around here is adorned with some kind of death bell wreath. And of course the death bell itself grows all around the swamp here. The death bell glows so bright, in fact, that it illuminates the other foliage around it with this pale blue glow that is actually brighter than the moonlight cast by Masser and Secunda tonight, believe it or not. And in some ways it's fitting, once again, that death bell is used in the Saturalia decorations because Evening Star is a month all about decline and the passing of things we hold dear so that they might be renewed again at the beginning of the New Life Festival in the new year. So as Saturalia decorations, Death Bell is particularly appropriate and carries a special significance. Another popular decoration here in Morthal, but elsewhere in Skyrim as well, is these welkined stone lights, often strung along the edges of rooftops. They add a cheerful sparkle to the cold nights. And it looks like even out here at the end of this dock, somebody has placed a little bit of seasonal cheer in the form of this little bowl of candles decorated with snowberry. Look at the sparkling stars reflected in the placid waters of the swamp. Gosh, that's beautiful. Reflecting the beautiful sky above. And you can see out there in the swamp those death bell illuminating the night with their pale glow. Despite being fairly far north in Skyrim, Morthal actually enjoys a relatively temperate climate, thanks to the moderating influence of the ocean. I suppose it's something to do with the currents, perhaps, because not too far east of here, it gets bitterly cold indeed. Places like Dawnstar, Winterhold, get much more snow at this time of year, but here in Morthal, It's just a light dusting and a few drifts. Once again, the stars reflected in the gently rippling waters. You can hear the waters rippling around the dock pilings. It's very calming. And just across the way, look, we can see evergreen trees, all decorated with all kinds of colorful ornaments, as well as those death bell wreaths and the Welkenstone lights adorning some of the buildings. It's a very cheerful scene indeed, and very relaxing. But despite the relatively modest and mild temperatures at this time of year that Morthal enjoys, it is a bit nippy. It is, of course, still the coldest time of year, and we are outside, so perhaps we should think about heading on inside, warming up our toes and our fingers by a crackling fire. Why don't we visit the inn to see if we can find a bit of warmth? Maybe a little bit to eat or drink. That is, of course, another important part of the Saturalia celebration. Feasting and drinking all kinds of traditional seasonal foods and beverages. I love some good eggnog or a hot chocolate or a seasonal mead, nicely spiced and mulled. And of course there's the seasonal baking as well. Who could forget the gingerbread cookies, snowberry pies, mincemeat tarts, boiled cream treats, all manner of delicious seasonal fare. Looks like it's starting to get a little bit hazy, clouding over ever so slightly. That is, of course, the price that the residents of Morthal pay for their mild climate, which is to say that although it doesn't get super cold here, it is awfully wet. There's a lot of rain in Morthal. A lot of chickens, too, apparently. Nothing says Christmas like chickens, right? They need to get in the festive spirit. Maybe some little hats or something. They're a chattery bunch. This is beautiful. Look at the brilliant ornaments festooning this tree. Very pretty. Well, here we are at the Moorside Inn. A humble tavern, but a cozy one. is just as cheerily decorated as the exterior was, with more of those traditional death bell wreaths, and this humble-looking Saturalia tree, which appears to be adorned with, are those chorus eggs? I think they might be. Best not to think about where they got those. Never liked chorus. And of course, like every good inn across Skyrim at this time of year, the Moorside is serving all kinds of seasonal treats. I spy some Saturalia sweet rolls over there. Some delicious, fresh, crusty bread. Pies, meads, mulled wines, mince tarts, some hot drinks too. Hot cocoa, and a couple of bottles of eggnog too. It's getting me hungry. And of course, the fire is so warm, cheerful, warming up my fingers and toes, filling the air with a smoky smell that's somewhat nostalgic. I love the smell of wood smoke. Up at the bar, they've got more seasonal delights. That's hot cocoa for sure. Oh, and some kind of, looks like a tin, some kind of container, perhaps full of sugar cookies, gingerbread, tarts, who knows? All manner of delightful Saturalia cheeses, and another Saturalia sweet roll, all on this woven kind of runner or tablecloth, which also looks quite seasonal. But, you know, as cheerful and seasonally appropriate as it is here at the Moorside, I've heard that Highmoon Hall, just across the way, is even more cheerful and cozy at this time of year, if you can believe it or not. I think we need to go find out for ourselves. As much as I'd like to nab a tart here, I think we'd best go check out Highmoon Hall. Let's go take a look, shall we? And we're back outside into the chilly night once again, and would you look at that? While we were in the inn, a little bit of snow has started to fall, which is perfect for this time of year. A little bit of snow just feels right around Saturalia. Just dusts the world with a little bit of holiday cheer. The chickens don't seem to like it too much, but we'd still see the stars through the hazy clouds though, and of course, bright and brilliant, massive is very pretty. And somehow when it's snowing outside, it just makes it that much cozier inside. When you're all bundled up with some toasty hot cocoa and a warm blanket and a good book. One of my favorite things to do when it's snowing out. I bet you that's the case for many of those in Morthal here too. Alright, well this is Highmoon Hall. And as I said, I have heard that they put on quite the seasonal display for Saturalia. Highmoon Hall is also where the citizens of Morthal gather to do their annual gift exchange, which is a little bit different here in Morthal than elsewhere. Let's head on inside and I'll show you what I mean. Oh yes, it is cozy in here indeed. It smells like cinnamon and nutmeg and wood smoke and resinous pine. It smells like Saturalia. And the residents of Highmoon Hall have certainly decorated all over the place for the season. This crackling hearth here is adorned with seasonal candles, which honestly look like they're maybe close enough to melt, close enough to this very warm, toasty warm, blazing fire. And over here, look, the Yule log. This is a special log that is burned once a year on Saturalia. It's part of a centuries-long tradition. I don't know if they do the Yule log elsewhere in Skyrim. For that matter, I don't know what the word Yule means. But that's what they call it here. And this lovely, ornate candlestick with a pretty bow on it. And then here we have what I was talking about. The community gift exchange. All kinds of presents and gifts wrapped up and placed under the tree that is hosted here in Highmoon Hall. Elsewhere in Skyrim and across Tamriel, individual families and friends give gifts to one another as signs of appreciation, tokens of love. Here in Morthal, everybody contributes a gift to the communal gift exchange, and all of them are placed here under this tree in Highmoon Hall, and then distributed by chance by Jarl Idgrod herself to all the citizens of the community. So it's a surprise what you will be getting and from whom. Now you might imagine that that would lead to some awkward or uncomfortable or cheapskate kind of gifts, but that is not the case. The citizens of Morthal take their responsibility very seriously, and it's part of their honor to give gifts that are of the highest quality that they can manage for their means. as a matter of honor. It is certain that the gifts will be something special. All kinds of beautifully wrapped parcels and boxes here under the tree. Gorgeous bows and colorful patterns on the paper. And of course, plenty of death bell wreaths. And the Jarl herself, of course, gets into the festive spirit, decorating her platform with what are these trees covered in what look to be Dwemer gyros. I suppose that's a good use for them as any. And more seasonal candles. This is a tradition, the communal gift exchange. This tradition is something that Morthal can do because it's such a small community. Many people call it a backwater, and compared to Solitude, which is just to the northwest, it sort of is, but the people of Morthal are a proud folk. And this community gift exchange is a tradition that they have observed for decades, perhaps centuries, and it's something that sets them apart. Oh, that looks like a wrapped toy sword, perhaps. At least I hope it's a toy. A candy cane. A gorgeous silver platter with little gifts. And cozy looking stockings stuffed with candy and trinkets. Another common Saturalia tradition. You can feel the warmth of the hearth melting away, the cold melting away, the stress and tension in my muscles. It's so cozy. Well, it just so happens that I have brought my own gift so that I may participate in the community gift exchange here. And don't worry, I brought one for you as well, so you can participate too. So, why don't we spend the night here, cozy and warm in Highmoon Hall, and in the morning we can exchange gifts, see what kind of gift we receive in turn. I think that would be very nice. And perhaps we can spend the night just up here. A nice cozy little corner, still warmed by the fire, but out of the way, nice and quiet. And even up here, they've decorated more gifts and toys here at the foot of a tiny little tree covered with soul gems. And a quaint little holiday spread, all kinds of treats here. More Saturalia sweet rolls with sprinkles and icing like the snow that's falling outside. Hot cocoa and mince pies with the beautiful stars on top. Cream treats, candy canes, mead and eggnog. You know, I bet that they won't mind if we just steal a little nibble or two here. I mean, that's probably what they're spread out here for after all, right? For guests. What's the point of food if not for eating? Ah, yes, I think this will be a lovely night. Up in our quiet little corner of Highmoon Hall here, nibbling away on delicious Saturalia sweets and treats. With that crackling fire down below to keep us warm. Well, thank you, my friends, for joining me again on this Saturalia wander. I do so love this tradition that we have carried on for many years now, and we will continue to do so for many more years to come. And wherever you may be, whatever it is you may celebrate at this time of year, I wish you